Hello, welcome. You are listening to Gluten Watchers. I am your host, Rachel Toon. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about my story and how I began the journey and the lifestyle to gluten-free living. See, I was an active, healthy kid. I was involved in sports from an early age, but my life began to change in 8th grade, which was basically the year 1997. You can do the math at how old I am. I'm 34 years old now. I had a virus attached to my intestines, and it paralyzed my stomach. So for 9 months straight, anytime I ate food, I would get sick. I was finally diagnosed by a gastroenterologist, a stomach doctor, with the condition called gastroparesis. At that point, they were able to put me on a medication called Propulsid, and it allowed my stomach to move again, and I went back onto life, living life how I was before all of that. But my sophomore year, they took that medication off. That was around 1999. They took it off the market, and they put me on what they call a cousin to it. So it was in the same family, but it didn't work exactly the same. I began to experience several side effects. I would have hand tremors. I would get headaches. I even began to struggle with sports-induced asthma. So my options that were given to me was basically to combat those side effects with other medication. By the time I was a freshman in college, which was around 2002 to 2003, I was on about 8 to 10 different medications. This went on for, I would say, a couple of years. In 2004, it was 2004, I went on a 21-day Daniel's fast. The church I was attending was doing this together. So I took myself off all of my medications at that point. And please, I'm putting a disclaimer in there. I am not telling you to do that. In fact, I don't recommend it at all. You need to consult your physician before stopping any medications, whether it's you just taper off or whatever's safest for what you're taking. But I did do that because I wasn't educated on it. And I strictly followed the Daniel's fast. And I found that I had just as much relief, if not more, from my symptoms being on the Daniel's fast than I did taking all those medications. So I never picked them back up, and I've been medication-free since that point. After that, I began learning more and more about nutrition and the body and how important it is. I went to nursing school and graduated in 2006 with my LPN. Around that time is when I started learning about gluten-free. I began to transition over to a gluten-free lifestyle. I found that gluten-free, when I was on it, completely eliminated the rest of my symptoms, which consisted of nausea, stomach pain, just a lot of abdominal stuff mainly, which I personally link to gluten sensitivity, because I know when I have been exposed or I am exposed and I've been what you call glutened, that I can tell a big difference. It took me a couple of years to really become strictly gluten-free because I continued to learn more and more about how much food and non-food items contain gluten and how much exposure I actually was still getting. I have been gluten-free since about 2008. I graduated as a registered nurse in 2009. And I've practiced in the acute care and hospital setting for 10 years. I specialized in medical, surgical, telemetry, cardiac step-down. I've even done travel nursing. And during all of that, I saw how much nutrition played a role in the people I was taking care of. And so I saw a need, and I wanted to offer a solution. And that's how I developed Gluten Watchers. Because I know how long it took me to grasp and educate myself on the gluten-free lifestyle. There is so much information out there, but you've got to search for it. You've got to get it from this spot and that spot. And it was so overwhelming for me. And I wanted others to have a website that they could find everything they needed in one central location and have the successful and streamlined transition to a gluten-free lifestyle, which is why I have www.glutenwatchers.com, and it's to help lift that burden and the confusion off of your shoulders that comes with having to transition to a gluten-free lifestyle. I mean, let's get real. Our life everybody, whether you're gluten-free or not, our lives revolve around food. We get up, what are we going to have for breakfast? Oh, after breakfast, oh, what are we going to make for lunch? Oh, after lunch, what's for dinner tonight? And constantly, food is on our mind, and that's just who we are, and how the society operates. So whenever you have to live a gluten-free lifestyle, it can be extremely overwhelming. So that's a little bit about me today. I have a fantastic husband of 11 years, and we have had 4 beautiful children. We have 2 girls and 2 boys, who are currently between the ages of 7 years old and 8 months. So we are busy, on the go all the time. That's my story. So I hope that you've learned a little more about me and my passion to help others. Please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. I've got lots of stuff coming down the pike. Send me questions, comments, your personal stories. Thank you for listening, and I hope that I am putting life back into your lifestyle.